Is it a crime to grab someone's butt in Minnesota? Well, the answer is it depends. Before 2019, it was not a crime, but after 2019, the Minnesota legislature amended the law for criminal sexual conduct, specifically fifth-degree criminal sexual conduct, which is the lowest degree of criminal sexual conduct. It starts out as a gross misdemeanor, which means up to a year in jail. And if someone has a prior offense for that same thing, then it can go up to a felony. There are a couple scenarios, and in some scenarios it's not a crime, where in other scenarios it is a crime to grab or slap someone's butt. So I'll give you some examples. Let's say, as you know, a baseball team or a football team or a volleyball team, whatever, they're out there in the middle of a game, and then after each play, sometimes someone will slap their teammate on the rear end over the clothing. That is not a crime in Minnesota, and the reason is that it does not involve sexual or aggressive intent. On the other hand, let's say some guy's walking through a bar and he sees someone he thinks is attractive, and without her knowledge or consent, he walks up behind her and he quickly grabs her butt. That can be a crime in Minnesota depending on the circumstances. It still requires the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there was sexual intent or aggressive intent there. And that can be drawn from all the facts and circumstances in the situation. Obviously, it's not a good idea in today's world anyway, and it might not have ever been a good idea to do that. But the point is that now what used to be legal, believe it or not, now may not be legal. And so the question in those sorts of cases, let's say there's no disagreement that someone's butt was touched over the clothing, for example. And the question is, was this a tap or a squeeze that was meant in a playful, joking way versus was it sexual intent or aggressive intent? And there's no particular definition for that, but it's going to depend on the facts and circumstances of each case. Obviously, it's not a good idea to be doing that, and if you want to avoid even the chance of being charged criminally, you don't want to be doing that to anybody else. And if you should err on the side of assuming that the other person isn't going to see it as joking or playful or even flirtatious, but rather that there's sexual intent or aggressive intent there, which can at a minimum get you interviewed by law enforcement and perhaps charged with fifth-degree criminal sexual conduct. If that happens, of course, you're going to be going through the court process, needing to hire a lawyer, and this can get to be quite a stressful and potentially expensive situation for you as well. So if you have more questions about criminal sexual conduct in Minnesota, I'm criminal defense attorney Ryan Pacyga. You can reach me at 612-339-5844, or you can find me at arrestedmn.com.